Hi everybody, it's Nikki Chanel here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to do this video very animated because I just had my boob job consultation today. Like, oh my God, like I've been waiting for this day for months and even years by this point. So to finally have this moment done and over with is amazing. And now I'm on to the next step of getting the surgery scheduled, which will probably be about January. And this video is going to be all about my consultation. I'm going to go into detail, like I'm going to be talking fast because there was just so much information coming. So, please hit the like and subscribe button, put those comments in the comment section, keep it respectful, and let us do this. Okay, loves? Okay, now let's get into how I got the consultation scheduled. So honestly, my biggest problem was finding a surgeon. That was my biggest problem. I live in Idaho, and there's really not a whole lot of surgeons to go to for transgender breast augmentation. There's a lot of like normal breast augmentation procedures, but I need to go to someone who specializes in this because this is essentially chest reconstructive surgery. And so finding the surgeon took a long time. There was a lot of research involved. I originally thought I was gonna have to go out of state, but finally I had an interesting moment where there was a trans man that I worked with at my job, and he was getting his surgery done through this one surgeon. I was like, wait, there's actually that here in Idaho? Yeah, and he told me, I think he also does male to female. I'm like, well, really? And then finally, once I moved out, I put that information in the back of my mind, and once I moved out, I finally started to like, okay, I'm ready to do this now. This is the best time in my life, let's do this. And that's when I started calling up all these different doctors' offices, and I ended up going with the one that my trans man friend went with, which was really cool. And I set up the day. There was a lot of phone calls in the middle of it. Like I remember one day I got the phone call in the middle of work, and I literally told my boss, I'm like, hey, this is like one of the most important phone calls I'm ever going to make in my life. I need to go take this like right now. He's like, yeah, no problem. Went and took it, and consultation was scheduled for August 21st at 10 a.m. And I had been waiting for this day with unimaginable glamour and love and fun. Like, I was waiting for this day for a long time. And then finally, I went in there today. So next section of this video is going to be talking all about it. So let us get into it, okay, loves? Okay, now let's talk about the consultation experience itself. So I walked in, saw the front desk lady. She was like, oh, hi, can I help you? I was like, yeah, Nicole came here for an appointment. Okay, perfect, and got all my information settled, and then took me over to the waiting room. I only waited for about 5 minutes, then a nurse came in and took me in. And initially, the initial questions were like, have you ever smoked tobacco? Have you ever done this? Do you have a history of disorders? Do you have any history of surgeries? Like, how long have you been transitioning? It was kind of just like the normal medical questions that I'm asked all the time. And I said yes, no, and then finally once it happened, there was kind of like a little bit where I started talking to her and kind of told her the experience of the trans man that I worked with. She's like, oh yeah, I remember him. He was super nice and everything like that. So I was like, oh, that's cool. And then apparently I stuck the right word in her mind where she's like, oh, so you actually have like some like knowledge base to go off of with this? I'm like, yeah, I've been doing my research for probably 12 years. She's like, whoa, okay, so yeah, this person knows a lot about breast augmentation. And I think she went and told the surgeon that because when the surgeon came in to talk to me, he was like, okay, we're gonna do this, and he started using all the surgery examples. We're gonna do a submuscular, we're gonna do a high profile, and I knew all of that stuff because I did my research before I went into this. What was surprising about the whole consultation though was the size of the implant. I originally expected that with my level of chest development that I have and the level of growth rate that I've had and like how long I've been on HRT, I thought for sure it was going to be a fairly small implant. Like I was hoping it wasn't too small to make them not noticeable because I want them pretty full. I mean, I wear tops like this all the time, so I want them pretty full and noticeable. And I told him, when they finally asked me, okay, what cup size are you kind of looking for? I told them I wanted in between a C and a D. And they asked me, okay, well, do you want something more specific? Do you want a C or a D? Because there's a lot of variations in that. I told him D. And he's like, okay. And so after measuring my chest and measuring all that stuff, yep, I had to get topless. That's just what happens, you're going in for chest augmentation. you have to be comfortable with that. And I felt very comfortable with him. I did not feel that this was weird at all. I felt safe and I felt secured in that office. And so he took all the measurements, and you could tell from the experience and the way he talked to his assistant nurse that he's definitely done this a lot. Like, this is definitely something that is pretty routine for him. And apparently even before I went in there, he already had an idea of what was going to happen. He kind of been doing this enough times to kind of know generally what to expect with breast augmentation for people as skinny as I am with little chest development. And so then we started talking about CC size, and you mentioned that, we're gonna give you a range of CC sizes. We're gonna give you this, if you want to get to the D cup size that you wanna go to, this is probably what it's going to be better. And then there was another thing about expanders, but I'm like, I don't really wanna do expanders. I'd rather just have it done, sealed up, and over with, and then it's done with. Then, if I wanna expand it later on, then I'll pursue that later on, because I have to keep everything within insurance margins. And then the fun part comes where he kind of finally told me what the CC is, but that's saved for the next section. So finally, the moment that this whole video is about is that he's expecting it to be in between a 420 cc to a 580 cc. I'm kind of hoping it's in the 520 range. Personally, to me, that is something that is true to myself and something that I want, because I want to be this glamorous, gorgeous woman, and having a pretty large bust size, especially on my little frame, is going to be pretty dramatic. And so that's what I want. That is what I want. I want to be noticeable, I want to be gorgeous, and I want to be quote unquote hot. And he said is that, based off of your skin elasticity, because at one point he had to pinch it to determine how large he could go with it. He said that, with this, I could safely get at least a 450 cc implant. Now, obviously at the time of the surgery, there may be some complications that arise. So what they do is they order 3 sets of breast implants of all various sizes. They can basically test which ones go in them. And this hospital I'm going to get this surgery done is where my dad had open heart triple bypass surgery, and he's totally fine now. So that's extreme compared to this. But as any surgery, there's this whole list of recommendations. There's a whole list of post-op care. There's pretty much every single thing you can imagine. And with this is what I want to really experience. I've already got it prepped out with a couple of friends that are gonna help me. I have a wonderful support group where I live and where I work. I've been prepping my job for this for 7 months, so I already talked to the HR about this today. And basically there's a couple of things I need to do to get the surgery date set. And then once a couple lists are done, I then do the surgery. So I'm thinking it's probably gonna be about January. That'll be pretty much the best time because of my job and because of how Idaho weather is. January and February is cold and snowy and just kind of gross and dreary and drab. So having the surgery during that time where you can't really go outside because it's so freaking cold is, I think, going to be the much better option. So yeah, I'm gonna have to wait about 5 months, but I've got a lot of stuff planned in those 5 months. I'm gonna be posting more YouTube videos, I'm gonna be doing this, so I'm not worried about the wait because I know it's gonna happen, so I'm so excited. Now let us get into the closing thoughts, okay? Now in conclusion, I felt completely and 100% safe with my surgeon. He was extremely knowledgeable on all of the topics. The fact that he's going to get me a D cup close to 500 cc implant is going to be pretty amazing, I think. So I am super excited for all this stuff. He works at one of the best hospitals here in Idaho. Great insurance I have. So everything has basically been planned for this moment for a long time. And so now is the time to make it happen. So within the next 6 months, I will be having my breast augmentation. So I'm excited. I'm so excited, and I cannot wait to show every single person on here all the outfits, everything I've got planned. This is going to be probably one of the greatest days of my entire life. Okay, now with that quick little video out of the way, I'm sorry that was completely ad lib, just, everything was fresh in my mind. And so I just want to say thank you all for listening. Please hit the like and subscribe button, and we will be here for more transgender videos, okay? Now, I love you all and I hope you all have a wonderful day.